So, back in when I was like in my early 20s, man, I used to break up a lot with my girl, right? And in those splits, sometimes we might be apart for like months. I think the longest time we broke up was like 2 years. And during that period of time, I would always I really wasn't the type to have a whole bunch of girls at once, but I might be dating like two girls at one time. But I always had my little shawty, you know what I'm saying? And that vernacular, that slang means your little thug girl, you know, and your little thug girl. She was, this isn't her right here. This is just a girl that reminds me of her. This is the energy of a little shawty. You know what I'm saying? And these types of girls are gangster, but they're females. They got a lot of respect in the hood. Maybe because of who their brothers are and who their male family members are. They grew up under the same circumstances as a lot of the men in the hood who went through trauma. They've been traumatized. I know my little shawty from back then. Her brother was actually murdered, and it sent her on a path of destruction because back in those days, this was like 2012. The Percocets were really really in effect, and she was on perks. You know what I mean? She was a pill popper, and she was like a gangster. But a lot of women have asked me, what is it about these thug girls that men are so attracted to? And I think I qualify to answer this question because I had my little shawty back in my early 20s. And when I broke up with my girl, I was rocking with her. And even though I knew she wasn't healthy for me, I knew she wasn't good for me, it was something about her that I just couldn't shake. I just couldn't give it up, you know what I mean? And I think what it is the loyalty. If you can get you a little shawty, a little thug girl on your side, she'll be loyal to you. You know what I'm saying? I remember this girl had so many stripes in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like she grew up in the same part of town as me, but she was younger than me. She was about maybe like 3, 4 years younger than me or something like that. I'm like 23, maybe she like 20, 19. But she had stripes in the hood. So by me being seen with her sliding around the hood, people would actually respect me simply because I was with her. And she used to hustle, she used to, sell drugs and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? She was a hustler. And they just were like, she was a gangster. I remember when I first met her, she was like, yo, I don't care if you got a girlfriend or whatever, I'll still rock with you. And I'm like, it was like, I'm like, why? And she like, cause it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm rocking with you though, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a girlfriend at the moment, but that right there kind of showed me her mentality, you know what I'm saying? And she was cool. She liked me. She may have even loved me, but at the end of the day, it was more of a transactional thing. You know what I'm saying? I got what I got because she had some fire. You know what I mean? I can't lie. Man, even though she was thugged out. She wasn't ran through. She was the type of girl that had some real good, and it kind of blew my mind at how good it was because she only hung out with dudes. She was one of those girls that was like, yo, I don't even deal with females because females are fake. I only deal with dudes. And I used to hate that because I'm like, she was the type of girl that I just always be with dudes. You know what I mean? And she was the type that was, be in a car with a dude and tell him to roll up, pop a perk with her, whatever. And I had to adapt to that because I was coming from a world where I was used to suburban girls who weren't like that. You know what I'm saying? But you can tell if a girl has been ran through. If you have sex with a girl, you can tell pretty much what she's doing out there. And this girl was actually not having sex with nobody but me. And I could tell, you know what I'm saying? And she had some fire, and you can say that I was turned out by that. You know what I mean? But she was my little shawty, man, and it was like understood between us. It was an understanding that we're dating each other, but we're not dating each other. You know what I'm saying? When she skated off and she was on her own, I knew that she was probably dealing with other dudes because at the end of the day, she was about her money. And She would deal with different guys. She called them clowns. She'll be like, I got these clowns out here who like me, and I'll just take the money from them, but I'm not really having sex with them. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't really my girl, but she was my little shawty. You know what I'm saying? and and it's just looking back at it. I don't know, man. I remember there was this rapper. He was like, I can't leave that hood, put that hood PUSSY alone. And this girl, I was listening to the lyrics. It was on the radio or something like that. And this girl said, "Why do men love these thugged out girls?" And it's because of it's because they just gangsters and they're real. And they're loyal to you, but they're not loyal to you. But you understand that, so it's like it is what it is. It's like, as long as I get my turn with you, it's all good. I know you got other men, but when you're with me, you make me feel like I'm your only man, type thing. And she put, it was crazy, bro. We would like, back then, man, we used to have a thrill out of stealing. Man, she had me she would like cook meals for me. She would go into these grocery stores and steal a bunch of T-bone steaks and a bunch of food, walk right out and cook it for me and stuff like that. And it was a turn on. You know what I'm saying? She had tattoos on her stomach, tattoos on her legs. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It kind of turned me out. I'm like, damn, this girl I went into the grocery store, took all these steaks, these $50 steaks, and now she in my house cooking for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we get down with each other. You feel me? And it's no big deal. I'm like, I can text her and be like, bro, I'm trying to do it. And she'll be like, all right, that's what's up. Of course, at that time, I'm selling weed, so I got to hit her off with some money or whatever. You know what I mean? Because that's just what it was. I knew she was about her money, and I knew we had a transactional relationship. But at the same time, it was like we loved each other, but we didn't love each other. It was an understanding there. We knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? And it was just, like I said, man, this girl, I remember one day she was like, I'm tired of these dudes in the hood, in my hood, not really giving you the respect you deserve, Benny. So I'm going to start being with you everywhere we go. Everywhere we go, we're going to be together. And I actually gained a bunch of respect in her, from these guys that were in her age range, these hood dudes, just for being with her. She had so much respect. I mean, everywhere she went, people dapped her up. People were screaming her name. She was like a little celebrity. You know what I mean? And it was just like, yo, that was Lil Shawty right there. And I think that men like that, But at the end of the day, I knew I couldn't have a fruitful relationship with her because I knew that she was on perks. I knew that she was selling, she was hustling hard drugs. I was hustling weed, but she was hustling hard drugs. And I knew that she really didn't have any plans for the future. She was living day to day, and she was just out here dangling, traumatized by the death of her brother or whatever and all that stuff. But there was a genuine love there, though. Even though I knew it wasn't a genuine love there, at the same time, I knew it was a genuine love there. And she was my little shawty. And eventually we parted ways because relationships like that, like, we had plenty of conversations. And I'm like, this shit ain't gonna last forever. Like, you my little shawty. I'm your, and girls will tell a dude, you my shawty. You know what I mean? And it's not going to be a permanent thing. It's going to be a temporary thing. But at the same time, it's just crazy because there's this certain level of loyalty that they give to you. You can say that loyalty comes from the fact that you're giving them bread. You can say that loyalty comes from the fact that they're using you, or you can say it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We both getting what we want. She got some fire in between her legs. I want it. I like spending time with her. And, I hit her off with a couple dollars or whatever when she needs it. You know what I mean? But then again, she was hustling too, so she would give me things. She would buy me stuff. But what made it so crazy was she didn't care what I did. Like, if I was with another girl, she didn't match, she didn't care. You know what I'm saying? She was like, shit, as long as I get my time with you, it's all good. And I felt the same way about her, because I'm like, man, I'm pretty sure this girl out here, doing whatever she doing too when we're not together. But when we get together, it's like hey, I know you got other people in your life that you're dealing with, but right now we're gonna pretend that we the only ones in each other's lives, and that's why guys like thugged out girls. You know what I'm saying? They call them Lil Shawties. You know what I mean? And like this girl right here looks just like my Lil Shawty looked back then. Eventually, we parted ways. I got back with my girl, and sometimes I see her to this day, and there's a level of respect that we have for each other because, that was my Lil Shawty at one point. You know what I'm saying? So for all you women out there who want to know why is it that these guys, you can have a guy that's intelligent, smart, well educated, but he's so attracted to these thugged out girls, it's because that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? They know what it is. They not tripping. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And they got that mentality, and I think that's very attractive to men. You know what I mean? It's like she's your homeboy, and you get to have sex with her too, and she ain't tripping on you, and you ain't tripping on her, cause that's your little shawty.